President Trump's battle with the media continuing this morning with another tweet storm targeting what he calls fake news, fake books, and anonymous sources, which he says often don't exist. The A-team is back. Bill McKern and Mo Elathi and Amos Sneed. Mo, what do you think of the president's tweets here this morning?
This president spent years lying about his predecessor's birthplace, even though he knew it was a lie. This is a president who spent years, or has since the election, been lying about widespread voter fraud, even though he knows it's a lie. This is a president who, in his previous life, created a fake persona as a publicist who would go and talk to reporters as an anonymous source, as a fake persona. So, you know, you'll forgive me if I don't buy into his crocodile tears. Look, I think the issue of anonymous sources is one that has sort of plagued and raised issues with journalists for years. I think a majority of the people who use anonymous sources are doing so for a legitimate reason. The problem is what happens when you get burned by a source, and that appears to be what happened here with CNN, is that it got burned by Lanny Davis.
All right, so let's start out with this tweet. He tweeted this, blasting CNN and Carl Bernstein. This is from yesterday. CNN is being torn apart from within based on their being caught in a major lie and refusing to admit the mistake. Sloppy Carl Bernstein, a man who lives in the past and thinks like a degenerate fool, making up story after story, is being laughed at all over the country. Fake news. Bill?
Yeah, look, I think all those things are right, maybe about Donald Trump, but it doesn't get to the point here. Did CNN say something false in its story? Now, it says it stands behind its story because I think they claim another source. But I believe in the story they also said that Mr. Davis hadn't commented and so forth. I don't know why they couldn't just apologize, say we got burned, we should be more careful. Look, I'm very leery of anonymous sources. In my life, I've used them very few times, and I would never use it to make an incendiary charge because I think people are far more willing to say things. It's just like Twitter. You put your name on something, or Facebook, you're a lot less likely to make an incendiary charge than if you can do it behind some fake name or something.
CNN came back pretty strongly against the president with a tweet of its own, writing, "Make no mistake, Mr. President, CNN does not lie. We report the news, and we report when people in power lie. CNN stands by our reporting and our reports. There may be many fools in this story, but CNN's Carl Bernstein is not one of them."
I think I'll never be able to get over the fact that we can still say the phrase presidential tweet storm. I mean, if you just look at how we're getting our media, the news right now. But, you know, I work in public relations. I do a lot of work with crisis communications, and CNN is currently in a crisis. And I think it goes back to your point. A mistake was made. Why not own up to the mistake and move forward from it? Instead, this has trickled out and continued to be a news story, news cycle, news day after news day.
Well, he's using this as he's not just going after one network, he's going after others. He also tweeted this in a tweet storm this morning, saying, quote, "What's going on at CNN is happening to different degrees at other networks, with NBC News being the worst. The good news is that Andy Lack is about to be fired, for incompetence, and much worse. When Lester Holt got caught fudging my tape on Russia, they were hurt badly." Bill.
Right. Look, I think the president is always going to tweet like this, and his are going to be incendiary. If I were the press, I wouldn't hand him a loaded weapon, right, to shoot at. People are going to see that CNN didn't tell the truth, at least in parts of its story. They may have actually a good explanation in saying we're confirmed and we think the original story was right because of our other source, but explain that and don't, own up to it. It's a problem.
Mo, you have a quick thought?
Well, one, I agree, and they have said that they had other sources. I don't know what he's talking about there in terms of NBC fudging a tape. The tape is out there. It's been out there for months for people to see. The Lester Holt interview, there's been no allegations that that thing was tampered with or fudged in any way. So I don't understand what he's talking about. And so if he wants to criticize the press for being fake, he's going to have to own up to his own record of pushing fake information.
Or he's doing it anyway. He's doing it on Twitter this morning. He did it on yesterday. It shall continue. Thank you very much to our